Day 5 at the Australian Open, and it's a day where the old men win again. It is, of course, Stan Wawrinka, Novak Djokovic and Marin Cilic, the three oldies from the past, rolling back the years, playing fantastic tennis. On the women's, the favourites going through the draw, and we're going to speak about it all on this episode.
That's right, day 5, not quite in the books yet. We got a few matches still playing. Rude on court, I think Bencic is on there trying to get it done, and Rybakina. But the main stories of the day, they have transpired, and they say the cream rises to the top. Well, it looks like the old men are rising to the top on this one. It's Stan Wawrinka. Oh, my word. What a match. Over 4 hours on court, and 40 years old, getting an absolutely unbelievable win against Arthur Gaya. We got Djokovic winning easily. His one wasn't over 4 hours. And we had Marin Cilic as well, also beating Shapovalov. I think that's where we've got to start, isn't it, JG? The old men, something I can relate a lot to. Who do you want to start with?
Probably Stan the man. He's come out and said it's his last year on tour.
Yeah.
He's not going to be playing the Australian Open anymore. And yet he's just played a 4-hour, 33-minute match against someone nearly 20 years his junior and beaten him 4-6, 6-3, 3-6, 7-5, 7-6. Incredible from Stan. There was a fantastic backhand down the line to secure one of the sets. I'm not sure. The fourth set. And the crowd, you saw them just roaring. You're watching it and you're thinking, why retire? Like, it's the same with Cilic, similar to Djokovic in the sense. Djokovic is slightly different, I would say, because he is the greatest. He is the guy who's won everything. For him, does he want to just be someone who can beat most players on the tour but not actually win the last event? I think it's hard to watch Djokovic in that category. But with Cilic and Stan, of course, they've won Grand Slams, but we do put them in that category of, fair enough, just go and do well in events. You can beat some big players. You're not going to always win them. And I look at Cilic and I look at Stan, I think just keep playing. I see no reason for Stan the man to retire. He's beating some of the best players still and young players. He's just such a tough player to play, and he looks so hungry. The way he's serving in that final tie break, still just showing so much athleticism to move around the court, so much power, so much poise on the shot. I just feel that these guys have still so much left to give, and it'll be a shame to see them go.
Definitely would be. Stan Wawrinka, I know I'm always tiptoeing around, oh, is it the best? Is it not the best? I'm going to go on here and say it is the best single-handed backhand I've ever seen. I think when it's firing...
Whoa. Roger Federer?
I think it's better. That's me going on record saying Stan Wawrinka on its day, when he hits one down the line, I don't think I've seen anything nicer to watch on a tennis court. Especially, it just brought me back the end of that fourth set, and I just saw it going deuce and all of this, and it looked like the youngster was under pressure. And then when he got pushed out just to that backhand side, you just thought, oh, he's going to go for it. And he went, boom, unloaded it down the line. It hit the edge of the line as well. It wasn't like on the line. It was millimeters in it. What a moment. And then after that, I just thought, this is his. Even though there was a great fight, he was battling cramp gear, all of that type of stuff late in the match. But just goes to show, Stan Wawrinka, he's had 3 first-round exits in the last 3 years at the Australian Open. And this year, being his last one, maybe this is the last big hurrah. 2014, he won it. And 12 years later, he is into the 3rd round. I'm really excited for it. I mean, I didn't think I'd be this pumped for the older guys going through the tournament. But they're eclipsing the youngsters, I think, at the moment. Maybe it's going to change in the second week.
Well, his next match is against Taylor Fritz. So it's not a great one. However, Taylor Fritz hasn't started the year in amazing form. So who knows? I would not write Stan Wawrinka off, that's for sure. He is the king of the 5 sets as well. We'll go on to that stat in a second. But before, I just want to read this one. Stan Wawrinka was playing Novak Djokovic in the Australian Open qualifier match in the same month Arthur Gale was born. 40-year-old Wawrinka just outlasted the 21-year-old in a 5-set marathon in Melbourne. So when he was born, he was playing Djokovic in a qualified match in Australia. And you can look how young they are there.
I mean, it just blows my mind.
If you'd have told them that then, wind on 20 years or so, you're still going to be playing in this event and you're going to be playing someone who's in a hospital right now being born, you'd never have believed it.
Imagine just in a pushchair, just wheeled past after he finished the match, just like, this is your opponent in 21 years.
At this same event. Crazy.
It's actually insane. But credit to obviously Stan Wawrinka for being over 40 years old and still managing to put in not just a performance to get him through, but performance in 5 sets, I think, is the most impressive thing, and not to be the player that looked like he was actually starting to getting down on his level. I think Arthur Gaird's not used to those matches, and it's everything he's putting in pre-season. You could forgive Stan thinking, oh, it's my last year on tour, I'm going to go and have a bit of extra turkey and all of this stuff over Christmas. No, he's been training harder than ever, knowing it's his last year, and he's getting the fruits of his labor right now. So Taylor Fritz, watch out, because Big Stan is here to play. It's a real tough ask to beat Taylor Fritz, though.
Yeah, there was something about someone dropping a beer at the beginning of the match. Yeah. And Stan said, I'm probably going to go pick a beer up right now. So that's what he's planning on doing.
Got a big cheer, that one. No surprise in Australia.
Well, he deserves it. He deserves it.
Definitely
for sure.
Does.
And I don't know if you want to bring up the 5-set stat I had, because that's quite crazy as well. He eclipsed the likes of Verdasco, Federer, Djokovic. There's a lot of big names in there. I don't know if you've got it to hand.
Let me have a little look, see if you fired it over. Yes, I believe this is it.
And there we go. Stan Wawrinka now 49 becomes the player with the most 5-set matches played in a slam tournament. Federer 48, Djokovic 47, Verdasco, like I said, 45, and Hewitt there as well on 45. Some legends of the sport, and he has eclipsed everyone. I think Djokovic will end with this stat. I think this is another one Djokovic probably will get, because you'd expect him to play a few more slams and get to some 5 sets, especially with his level right these days. But Stan's got it for now.
Yes, he has. Cilic not going to 5 sets in his match, and neither was Djokovic. Cilic dismantled Denis Shapovalov, and at 38 years old, not quite the same, I don't believe.
Oh, he's young.
Exactly. That's it. It is quite crazy to just think, like Banch says here, Cilic still dismantled in top 25 players in straight sets at his age. And we got Djokovic is still the biggest contender to win slams after Alcaraz and Sinner at 39. Wawrinka still showing grit and heart to out physical guys half his age at 40. Well, it will be 41 this year. He's very close to being 41. It's unbelievable. Djokovic, not so much for some reason. We should give him his plaudits, but I think we do it all the time. But this Mastrelli, big occasion for him. Djokovic just looked great, looked strong, just did everything correctly against somebody who is going to have nerves. But yeah, he always gives him his props as well. Djokovic was applauding every time Mastrelli did a really good shot. I think that's just... You get used to that with Djokovic at slams in the early rounds. If there's a young player coming through, remember Dino Prismic as well. Yeah. He gave him his plaudits after the match, applauded him off the court. I think you've got to do that. When you're one of these big legendary players, nice to see them encouraging the future of tennis rather than just crushing them on the court and then just moving on to the next?
Yeah, that fits nicely to the question I've got for you, because with Cilic and Wawrinka doing so well, Djokovic obviously a little bit different. I'm wondering, like, what does it have to say about them in particular, or is it more about this current generation of players? Why are they still able to do what they're doing? Is it because this current crop of new generation of players aren't that good?
I don't think so. And I don't think there's any surprise that it's these three players that are doing it. These are all Grand Slam or previous Grand Slam champions for a reason. Like Stan Wawrinka, if he wins Wimbledon this year, he'll have the career Grand Slam. So Marin Cilic obviously has won a Slam and's been to finals of Slams before because he's that good. And when you can rediscover like some of the biggest parts of your game, like a big forehand or a big serve, when those are firing for Cilic, you see players struggle to hang with him on the tennis court. He doesn't find it as often, but when he puts it together a few matches in a row, he's really dangerous still. Obviously, we were saying, what was it? A Draper at Wimbledon. This is a young player. He struggle against the likes of Cilic in form. And I think the same goes for Stan. Obviously, Stan's in the past, I'd say Stan's looked a little bit bulkier on the court. This at the moment, he looks like quite slender. He's looking probably as fit as I've seen him in many years. So he's really being very serious about the fact that he wants to be able to play long matches, and it's paying off.
Yeah, and with Marin Cilic, I don't know if you're going to go back to him, but he's now reached the Australian Open third round for the 11th time in his career. The first time that happened was 2008, so 18 years ago. And if you look down the list, it was obviously quite regular, 08, 09, 10, 11, 13. But in more recent years, we've had 2018, 19, 20, 2022, and then there's been a 4-year gap, and he's done it again in 2026. So right now, he's back. He's back to more of a prime version of Marin Cilic. And that's why I wanted to have a look to see who he's got next in the next round. Because with Wawrinka, it's going to be tough to beat Taylor Fritz. With Cilic, we still don't know who it's going to be. Is that right? It says to be determined. So I'm assuming it's going to be the winner of... Is it maybe the winner of Ruud, Munar?
Let me have a quick look down there. It's the winner. Yeah, you're correct. The winner of Ruud and Munar. And who knows? It could be good to be in Casper Ruud's section right now, because at any moment he could get the call and may just have to leave the tournament. So Cilic could find himself with a bye or a walkover in the next round if Casper Ruud, maybe you just put in a fake call. You're like, oh, we need you at the hospital. Casper Ruud leaves and Cilic just makes his way through fresh then for a fourth round matchup. I'd be interested to see who else in his section. Oh, we got Vachereau Ben Shelton next round. That's an interesting one. Is that a good pivot? Should we move on to him next?
Well, we're not really touched on Djokovic, but it was a professional performance against the player you'd expect him to be, and he did exactly that. The big narrative about who he's going to be playing next, and I think we need to focus on that too.
Okay.
But quickly a word on Vachereau.
Go on.
I said it at the start. He's a wild card player who can do very well at this Slam. He ended the year as one of the best hardcourt players in the world. I think he's got genuine claims for knocking on the door of the top 10. I honestly think he's that good. I keep saying it now. The last 3 big events after being ranked 204 in the world, he won Shanghai, got to the quarterfinals of Paris, and now third round of Australian Open. Probably going to play Ben Shelton next. That's what it says. I don't know if that's confirmed.
Yes, it is.
It is, because Shelton won.
Yep.
So I think he can beat Shelton. Yes.
It's going to be a really tough match. Shelton in incredible form. He took out...
So's this guy.
Yeah, both of them are in good form. I would say, obviously Vachereau dropped a set, and he did say something quite funny about dropping a set as well. He said, it's the first time in my life I've lost the third set and I didn't lose the match. So that's the first time ever in his career. Goes to show he's not been doing too well at slams in the past anyway, definitely not winning 4-set matches, that's for sure, or 5-set matches. But yeah, like you say, he's a new, improved player. All it takes is to win something big and then put it all together to realize your own greatness. And he definitely is realizing it. Ben Shelton, he looks very, very dangerous. Yet to drop a set. Did, what was it? Ugo Humbert straight sets. Dane Sweeney in straight sets, but looked even better than he did against Ugo Humbert. And he's going to be hoping that he's going to be the one on a collision course. I believe it would be with Yannick Sinner in a quarterfinal. That's the one that he's got probably his eyesight on in the distance. But Cilic is in that little section as well. Don't forget, we got it's a real interesting section, that one. I mean, let me pop it up on the screen just so that everybody can have a look at the draw itself. Let me go back down to his little bit. Here we go. Right. So in this little section here, you can see Shelton Vachereau. We've got potentially Ruud coming through to play Cilic. So, and then if we go all the way down to the bottom, we've got Yannick Sinner down the bottom. You would expect Yannick Sinner to probably go through against any of these players here. We've got Spitzeri, Khachanov, and Darderi there.
Yeah. No. I mean, I feel like I don't look too much into the draw at this stage. I think you need to take it round by round. And the reason you can't look into it is because I was certain Hurkacz has arrived and he's playing well. And I was thinking we're going to get him versus Djokovic and Hurkacz is going to knock him out. Instead, Hurkacz has just gone out, losing to Ethan Quinn. Is Ethan Quinn a real great player? I'm not so sure. I think this is a really poor performance from Hurkacz.
That's you.
Excuse me. I don't know if there's any physical problems with Hurkacz. He looked extremely lackluster around the court. Not much fight from him. Bit of a defeatist exit. And I've got to put my hands up. I got it completely wrong. This is the biggest mistake I've made so far calling this Australian Open this year. I was expecting a lot more from him. And now it's happened every round for Novak Djokovic. We thought he was going to play Atman, didn't play Mastarelli. Then thought he was going to be playing Hurkacz, didn't. He's going to be playing Ethan Quinn. It's just playing out quite nicely for Novak.
So I'm just going to have a look in that little section of the draw. Obviously, it's not a foregone conclusion that it will be Ethan Quinn yet, because the third round will be Butik van der Zandsloot. Djokovic next. Jakub Mensik will be playing Ethan Quinn next.
Apologies, So there's one more round in between. I did see Butik's playing Djokovic, so I think that's still going to be okay for him.
Yeah, Mensik managed to make amends for a very, very tough first round match, which was, he seems to be playing Spanish player after Spanish player, and now finally move on to an American. He beat Chodar in straight sets, so showing the quality that meant he won a title coming into this tournament and continuing his good run. Ethan Quinn, though, he's got a big scalp already. He's beaten two big scalps, really. You can't really disrespect Grigspor and Hurkacz. If he takes out Mensik as well, can he then beat Novak Djokovic? He'll be on a really good run leading up to playing somebody like the 10-time Australian Open champion. Or can Butik even do something against Novak Djokovic? He's a crafty player. Ask people like Rafael Nadal and Carlos Alcaraz. He's a nasty player to come up against.
He is, but I'm not expecting him to do anything against Djokovic. I reckon it will be straight sets.
Good. That's what we like to hear.
Your bracket, you're probably going to beat me on the men's bracket. Because wait, you have Sinner winning or Alcaraz?
No, Alcaraz winning.
So yeah, it's going to be coming down to, for me, who wins it with us. Wow. I need Sinner to win the Australian Open more than ever.
That's it. Well, Yannick Sinner, maybe we can go on to him next. I know that there's not really much to take away from the match.
Really.
But it was one that was on in the morning in the UK. And I'll give you my 2 pence on this one. Sinner, dominant. I think that is the key thing you can see from the score. Duckworth tried his best in that second set. But I think the one problem that you have if you're someone like Duckworth is when every time you have a service game, it goes to deuce or you're facing break points. And every time Sinner serves, he holds to love. You know you're pretty much screwed in the whole course of the match. And Yannick Sinner, the way he can turn like I know we say it a lot, the defense into attack, but I think more the angle of the rally. That was the one takeaway today. They would get locked into like a cross-court rally, and then suddenly Yannick Sinner would just go, I'm going down the line now with ultimate pace. Duckworth had no chance. He would be like, are you kidding me? That's literally just on the line, down the line. That was just the story of it. 18 aces, 0 sets dropped this week. Just 10 games dropped in total. What did I say? I think I said I'd be lucky to get 6 games. Got 7 games, so he did actually better than I thought, Duckworth.
But it was always going to be the same result. And I think it means that Sinner has a really good record playing players from their home slam, not losing. He's got a really long streak of that going. I think only Juan... what's his name? The Argentinian guy, not Juan Manuel Sanundolo. The GOAT, Juan
Del Potro.
Del Potro, sorry. Del Potro also has a result doing very well against players from their home slam. But yeah, Sinner now also has something. I did send it to you, but I don't think you brought it up. But it's one of them ones. The one what's more funny is the Sinner Sauce Slam is complete. I don't know if you've seen this, but now he's worn a colour of all of the main Heinz sauces. We've got the mayonnaise, the ketchup, the yellow mustard, and the dill relish.
Yeah, I do quite like it. Which is your favourite? What are you going for?
Probably the mustard.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that is a very, very nice one. The yellow mustard one. I'm not too sure on this, the kit for this year. Similar with Alcaraz as well. I think that they could have gone a little bit more.
I'm not a fan of this year's one, though.
No, exactly. I think it's a little bit too just like not memorable. Like it's not like when Rafa always came to Australian Open, everyone was sort of a bit blown away. Like, whoa, it's like a new color combination. This one sort of just like camouflage or something. It's just blending in. But I think the funny thing as well that Yannick Sinner said after his match, they said, what have you been working on in the off season? You said after you lost the US Open final, you need to go away and work on stuff. What did you start working on? He said, well, my drop shots on the backhand side, as you can see, some of them don't even make it to the net. And it was quite funny. He was trying it, and some of them were just awful.
Oh, who said that? Sinner?
Yeah, he said, obviously I've been watching other players doing it, and they're like, who's the best on tour?
Oh yeah, I've seen this.
Exactly. And then he said, obviously Carlos, but he said he actually gave plaudits to 2 French players. He said, well, my first round opponent, Hugo Gaston, is one of the best on tour. And he said, Corentin Moutet, another person really good at drop shots as well. So he's trying to take bits from all of these players and piece it together into this complete new Sinner. But yeah, interesting to see he's working on a few bits.
Are you not sick of watching Yannick Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz constantly flirting with each other?
I know, isn't it? I mean, come on. So they just want it, though. They're trying to bring out the names. Like, come on, just say it. Because he said, come on, say the name.
Yeah, like they're desperate. There's like this whole big bromance between the two of them. But one thing we know for sure, Grand Slam final, I think a lot of it does go out the window. They both want to win for their own reasons. And we've seen it produces some really high-level matches. And the tennis we only used to see when Nadal and Djokovic played each other.
Agreed. Yeah, he will be playing Elliot Spitzeri in the next round. He went to 5 sets, had a really good performance against Yibing Wu. What got through that one? That was the only other 5-setter that was played on day 5. And let's move on to the women's. I'm going to start with the person I have as champion of the Australian Open. She's still looking good. That is Amanda Anisimova, continuing her amazing Grand Slam form. Destroyed Siniakova 6-1, 6-4. An absolute machine. 14 out of her last 16 matches she's won in the Grand Slams in the last 3. Yeah, I think that she's just playing exactly how I hoped she would play. No nerves. And just going after these smaller fish, let's say, on the women's tour.
Yeah, and it was a day of favourites winning on the women's. Pegula wrapped it up quite simply.
Yeah,
Noskova a little bit more troublesome, and I was worried, but she did win sets easily 2-2 in the first and third.
Yep.
So pleased that she managed to come through. Osaka, I was never really in doubt, as much as Sestaya did do a very spirited attempt of a comeback. That is also Sestaya's last year on tour, and she's been a great player to watch over the years, but she's not going to be playing in Australia. It appears, you never know, she could come back. It's like, who was the French lady who retired when we was at Wimbledon and then she just kept playing?
Cornet, yeah.
Cornet. You never know, she might do a Cornet, Sestaya.
She's a bit annoyed, wasn't she, at the end of the match? Did you see that?
Like what, Sestaya?
Yeah, she was annoyed at Naomi Osaka and spoke to her at the net. Naomi Osaka was she had one of those moments where she was like a deer in the headlights, Osaka, like she was going to cry, or she was like, I don't know what I did to upset her. And said, I know it's her last Australian Open because I don't think she's going to play after this year. Yeah. She's like, I didn't mean to. She could have just spoken to me in the point, or because apparently Osaka, before she was about to serve, she was going, come on, like geeing herself up. But then the umpire said, people are allowed to talk until you actually go into the service motion. So
I didn't see it. I've not much patience for it either. I mean, grow up. Grow up. Like, it's just you lost.
Exactly. That's all it is.
Yeah.
That was the problem.
Nothing to discuss there, in my opinion. She just lost and couldn't quite take it. Probably the biggest, breaking news right now as we're talking, the biggest shock of the whole round, you could say. Belinda Bencic losing to Bartenkova in 3 sets. It's only just finished, really, when we've gone live. I can't see how it ended because we've been doing this, but it's a massive shock because Bartenkova is only 19 years old, outside the top 100, a player I did look at as my wild card for the year. I didn't go for her. Probably should have gone for her because that is an absolutely ridiculous victory. I sent a tweet to you, actually, before we went live, looking at Bencic's form. I don't know if you want to bring that up, because before this tournament, she was one of the players to beat. She was, for me, a bit like a Svitolina. She's producing some of her best ever tennis. We saw her play very well against, was it Iga? She beat Iga. I don't know if you've got the tweet there.
Let me find it. There we go.
Yeah, so this is what Morgado said. It would be a massive upset. It has turned out to be a massive upset. She was 6-0 in 26, and some of them wins was Paulini, Mertens, and Iga. The way she was playing as well was fantastic. She is 10th in the world, I believe.
Yep. It's a huge
She's just lost to 126 in the world. The odds were 10 to 1?
Yeah, it's a huge upset.
9 to 1.
One that we didn't really see coming. It's somebody I did have my eye on as well. That's another one that got away with the wild card selection.
But you never thought she was beating Bencic. No, none of us did.
Well, she got to play, obviously, Iva Jovic in Guadalajara last year. I did a preview for that match, and she was playing extremely well. She took Jovic all the way to 3 sets in, I believe it was a semi-final. Yeah, semi-final in Guadalajara. And after that, she's still been pretty good. She knocked out Kasatkina as well in the first round. That's not an easy win. And came through all the way through qualifying. But she won her last round of qualifying 6-1, 6-love. So the Czechs seem to be able to produce a really good young tennis player, especially, it seems, on the women's side. They have tons of them just coming through, don't they? So, well done.
It's now her first top 10 win, first slam, 3rd round. And Bencic was actually on a 13-match winning streak. Obviously not lost in 26 as well, as we spoke about. But she's been in top form. So really good victory. The qualifier we should have all been watching. And let's see how she gets on in the next round. Other stories on the women's. I would like to speak about Pliskova quickly. I'm not a big fan of her. I know you like her a little bit more than me. She's had an injury. She missed a lot of last year, and she's been underdog really for the first 2 rounds, and she's won both matches.
Yeah, fair play. If you looked at it on paper, probably in the past, you'd say she would easily win this match. But judging on how long she's been away and all the injuries and stuff, it's a really good result for her. Sort of happy for her. When players get into sort of the twilight of their career, I think you do start warming to them a little bit more. Now you know that they've had this long career. You don't really want to see anybody just fade away into obscurity. It's nice if they can go out with a bit of a bang. And who knows? She's someone who's mixed it up, especially at Wimbledon in the past few years. She's been deep in slams. She's never won a slam, she said. And she said she's actually in acceptance now, and it doesn't really bother her, which I think it's you get better performances out of players when they come to that acceptance. So that's maybe what we're seeing.
She's got a good base level. She's a really good player. It's just her mentality for me is a bit weak and poor. I'll never forgive them matches in Wimbledon or was it that match where she was so close to doing so well and then just completely capitulated. I think there was another one in Rome where she lost in like maybe 30, 40 minutes, double bagel, went around looking at the sights. I just feel like she's someone who's just doesn't have that extra gear to go on and win big events. But the base player in there is fantastic. I feel like she's just a little bit more. She's like she's like a Raducanu, but like the next stage.
I didn't realise she played the bass either, so that's good. You learn something new every day.
Well, what did I say?
You said the bass player. I know what you mean, though. Maybe we'll find out how somebody else plays the drums. Maybe it's Iga playing the drums at the moment. Or maybe even Rybakina. She came through her match. That one is rounded off. I'm interested to know if anybody had Rybakina get into the final, maybe even winning the Australian Open.
Definitely. A contender.
Because she's someone who's been to the final, it was only, 3 years ago? So she's definitely good.
Not just that, she's in good form as well.
Yeah, she won the tour finals, didn't lose a match there. And she's actually saying, I was listening to a post-match interview, that when her serve is like going well, and she even knows it, she understands, if her serve is going well, then that's it, really. She feels like she beats anybody on her day if her serve is good. So watch out, because it is going well right now.
Exactly that. And I don't know if you've got any other stories,
No.
but not much more from me. It was a day of a lot of favourites winning on the women's side. On the men's, a few surprises, I guess, but still the old guard coming through. Quickly on Tsitsipas, disappointing for my bracket. I had him going further. It was really two tight tie breaks against Thomas Mahatch, and he's out. So I'm not going to make that mistake ever again on these podcasts. And Tsitsipas, I'm going to consider him how I considered him the back end of last year, and there's no resurgence.
Yeah, that is a shame, because it is somewhere that he has done very well in the past, but he came up against somebody, Thomas Mahatch, who's just in great form. He hasn't lost a match this year so far, won in Adelaide, and he's continuing the good run, beating Dimitrov and Tsitsipas in the first 2 rounds. That's impressive. Big. And yeah, 2 single-handed backhanders to start his tournament off. Beware, if you've got a single-handed backhand, it luckily stands not in its section.
Yeah, well, Musetti went through too, battled the Lorenzos, but I expected that to happen. Let me know, guys, if you have any questions or you want to speak about anything we spoke about today. Challenge us. We're up to listening to your thoughts. And if you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you tomorrow for another Australian Open overview.
See you then.